temperature, which just gives so many more opportunities to our producers, our shippers, and our growers. So we're excited about that. What we try to do in Burley, is to bring qualified companies to the area that are good community partners, that offer great results to their employees, great wages, great benefits, and just in general make our community a better place to live and play. And we're honored to have this company coming to our area. We are thrilled about that. Now, one of the things that makes our state so effective is the people who work in the various departments. We have the Department of Commerce here. They are some of my dearest friends, not just colleagues. They work so well and get things done for us. Plus, if we have anything we need to do, we can pick up the phone and call them. We're a small state, about 1.7 million people, and we can call directly to anybody we want and talk to them, including this guy on my right. I have to tell you a story before I turn the time over to the governor. 2 years ago, when we were at the Hilton Hotel for SelectUSA, I had a client that was getting ready to build in Burley. He couldn't quite make the commitment to be there for sure. We're in the booth, and he happened to call me. And I'm talking to him. I said, Henry, hold on a minute. There's a guy standing next to me who wants to talk to you. I said, it's the governor of Idaho. Here you go. And I handed him the phone, and he took off. A half an hour later, he comes back. Not only did he run up my minutes on my phone, but the guy I'm talking to, my client, said to me, you can't tell this guy no, count on us being there. And now they have this great facility they built in Burley, Idaho, that gets some nice jobs to people with good wages and great futures for them and their families. So right now I want to present to you the head man himself from Idaho. It's my honor to present the Honorable Butch Otter, the governor of the great state of Idaho.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. And Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for being here. I had lunch with your boss today at the White House, and I said good things about you, and he told me to tell you to do what I wanted. And you're here.
That sounds like the
Look how fast it happens. You're already here. I've got a lot of great help in the state of Idaho. I'm finishing up, I'm right at 11 and a half years. So in another 6 months, Miss Lori and I are going to go off and rodeo for the rest of my life. But we've had a great run as governor. We've watched the economy in the state grow because of the confidence that people have to invest their money because they know it's secure and it's predictable. And that's really what capital wants. But I want to introduce my wife, Miss Lori. And standing around Miss Lori is the leadership from the legislature, Scott Bedke, the Speaker of the House, President Pro Tem, Brent Hill. And I'm going to ask the other legislators, please, Chuck, Lance, Steve, Dean, please raise your hand, and Kelly. Because we got a great partnership. But as I was going to say, when I became governor, we had a $65 billion economy in the state of Idaho. Now remember, Doug just said that we were 1,700,000. Well, he was almost right. 1,758,000, 59, 60, because they're moving in every day. Fastest growing state in the nation. Today, we're at about a $67 billion economy because of the great confidence that this leadership team has expressed to the world. But as Doug has already said, we've got a great announcement to make today. And it's more than just, although it's, I'm going to let the boss man here tell you how much they're investing in the state of Idaho. But I'll tell you, it's bigger than just the investment. Because number one, it's the state-of-the-art of cold storage. And having worked for the J.R. Simplot Company for 30 years and built operations in 83 countries, I can tell you just how important storability, pourability, processability, and then marketability is, how important that is. So with this state-of-the-art facility, are we going to get to see a video of it? You will see that as this tremendous building, 140 feet high, as already was said, 25 million cubic feet. It's huge, 180,000 square feet. But nobody ever touches this product. And as it goes into a warehouse, because it's frozen and then comes back out. It goes in on first in, first out. So we don't have to worry about age-dated product. We don't have to worry about any problems within that product. And it all happens, frankly, with robotics. It all happens. So what that's bringing to the state of Idaho is the state-of-the-art, as we know, cold storage, storability in the world. And it's my great pleasure to introduce. Are you going to introduce it? Go ahead. No. You. Oh.
Thank you very much for that.
I'm always shorter than anybody to stand between these things. I'm also scared of cows, and something bad's going to happen. I mentioned friendships when we have people come to town, our businesses, our developers. We forge friendships with them, and that's the case here with Jonas as well. I would like to introduce you from New Cold, my good buddy Jonas Swarthout.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you very much, Doug. Mr. Otter. Thank you so much for this kind introduction, and everybody, well, what a crazy amount of people here. Welcome to this presentation and our announcement that we are going to invest over $90 million in a state-of-the-art automated cold storage facility. My name is Jonas Swarthout. I'm New Cold's country manager for the USA, which means I'm responsible for their business as well as the business development. What brought us here? In fact, what brought us here was the state of Idaho and their leading position in food processing. And as an exponent of that, McCain. McCain expanded their plant in Idaho, in Burley at the moment, and they wanted to team up with somebody who would develop and operate the most advanced automated cold store they could imagine. And unfortunately for them, they had to go to Europe to find us. But fortunately for them, we're already working with them in the UK and Australia, so they know what they were getting. We're currently already under construction, so if people would be spying and driving around in Burley, you already see a building which is going up. It's going to be operational in 2019, and as such it will support the startup of the plant of McCain, and we look forward also, of course, to receiving other customers' products in the area. Yesterday even there were ideas that we may be able to expand the facility to support the dairy industry, which is one of the big other industries apart from the potato processing. There's a couple of things which drives people to use our services as operator of automated cold storages. One of them is food safety, and I don't think that I have to tell more after the great presentation of Mr. Otter, because we don't touch the products. So there's no chance of damage, there's no chance of mixing it up, there's no chance of shipping the wrong product. And yeah, how that works you will see on this animation over here on the screen. I will not explain everything what you see over there now, but at the end of the presentation and the conversation I can answer any questions that you have. So food safety is an important trend, and with listeria issues sometimes with companies, you better want to be safe than sorry that you always know where your products are. We deliver that. What you also see is that companies, they're increasing the scale of their business. So they need a big player to be able to handle all their business. And my perception is that when you increase the scale to a certain amount, you need to support your people with the best technology to do the work for them, instead of having large amounts of people work at amazing temperatures below zero at times when they prefer to be in the bar with their buddies drinking beer. So that's what our automation brings. So it's better controllable. At the same time, when you increase the scale, it's also cost effective. So we can offer better services at lower rates. Yeah. How easy can my job be as business development manager? Another thing what you're seeing is that there's an increased need for quicker reactions on the demands in the market. Order today, ship tomorrow, maybe even faster. Technology enables us to deliver that, where it becomes more complex in older fashioned facilities. So all the trends in the industry are pointing to the solutions which you see here. And we are extremely grateful to have worked with a team of Team Idaho, as I call them, state, county and city, to work with McCain, to work with a company called Watco, who offers a rail service to our customers to the site and really makes us a pivot point in the area. And we look forward to strengthening the relationship with them and build the business further. I think I'm through my 5 minutes and I can talk on for 2 or 3 hours. Maybe we'll do afterwards. So thank you so much, Team Idaho, for offering the opportunity and supporting our project. And thank you so much for coming for this big announcement. Thank you very much.
I mentioned one of the great things about SelectUSA, it educates those of us who attend, and it fits right in with the Secretary's plan. I know that since he's been occupying his position with your cabinet position, he has worked tirelessly to help create all kinds of good paying jobs for hardworking people across the country, and that's coming into fruition, and we're very grateful for that. In Burley, Idaho, right now we have under construction about $320 million worth of direct forward investment, so your program works at SelectUSA. Ladies and gentlemen, my honor to present to you the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, the Honorable Wilbur Ross.
Thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you for the slideshow. That's a very, very impressive structure that you've got. Well, congratulations, Governor Otter and Newcold, for the $90 million state-of-the-art investment that you're making in Idaho. Through your decision to build this state-of-the-art facility in a little town of just over 10,000 people, you are following the footsteps of thousands of foreign companies that are succeeding in the U.S. market. There never has been a better time to invest in the U.S. Since the beginning of President Trump's term in office a little over a year ago, actually 510 days, but who's counting? The U.S. economy during that period has created more than 3 million new jobs. And after more than a decade of losing a total of 65,000 manufacturing plants, the United States had a net addition of 4,000 new manufacturing plants last year. And we're shooting for a much bigger number of increases this year. At this summit, we've already witnessed companies making investments worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I just came from a session with JSW Steel in Ohio. You don't mind if I plug another state. They're a steel company from India investing $500 million in Ohio to build a fully integrated mill. Who would have thought, before we put tariffs on steel and aluminum, who would have thought that an Indian steel company would stick $500 million into the U.S.? And that's on top of $500 they already have started a couple months ago. So it's working. The program is working. I know a lot of the people in your communities are nervous about trade wars and things like that. But look at the realities. 90 million here, 500 million there. Another Japanese company came in with another investment in Ohio, a few $1 million for an R&D facility. It's really starting to happen. And events like SelectUSA Summit help to be a kind of high-priced dating service, only we don't charge for it. So it's better than a high-priced dating service. It's free, courtesy of U.S. government. I'm also proud to say that this entire event cost the U.S. government nothing, not 1 penny. The sponsors, the exhibitors, and all that very well covered the expenses that we have. So we're trying to put some good business practices into the federal government rather than having the federal government interfere with business practices. That's why we rolled back regulations and have more to do. It's why we cut the corporate taxes, why we let the investments be written off in the first year, why we cut the individual tax rates, and why we're going to do a lot more things with infrastructure and other programs. So thank you. Congratulations to all of you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you. We want to thank Secretary Ross for taking the time to be with us today, and my friend Jonas, and Governor Otter. My wife asked me just a couple of days ago before I came, what's it like hanging out with the governor at these things? It's like you're hanging out with John Wayne all week. It's a lot of fun. I think now we'll open some time for some question and answers if you have any.
Questions? All right, then how about some answers?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we have the motion. Second. All in favor? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Can
you take this?
Just right in there when she gets that logo showing. Okay.